Session 2, the triple bottom line and stakeholders. At the end of this session, you should be able to define stakeholders, identify the importance of stakeholders in business success, understand the role of different stakeholders in a business. Stakeholder. A stakeholder is used to describe any person, group, or organization with an interest in a company who is affected by a firm's activities, whose activities affect the firm's performance. So first, a stakeholder should have an interest in a company, the company's mission, its vision, its goals. A person who is going to be affected by the firm's activities, be it physical, financial, physical, or emotionally. A person whose activities affect the firm performance. So if your actions affect the firm's performance, then we say you are what? A stakeholder. Types of stakeholder: financial stakeholders and interest stakeholders. Financial stakeholders are those with a financial relationship with the organization. These people are shareholders, employees, to mention the least, people in contractual agreements with the organization. So any person who has a financial obligation to the organization, any person who the firm has a financial obligation to, is who we call a financial stakeholder. So you're in a financial relationship with the organization. An interest stakeholder is someone who is interested in how the organization behaves. So he has an interest in the organization. So how is the organization behaving? These people could be the society or the community in which you are in, the media, the government, other legal systems. So these people are interested in how the organization behaves in a whole. The stakeholder impact analysis, a decision tool with which managers can recognize, assess, and address the needs of different stakeholders, allowing the firm to achieve competitive advantage while acting as a good corporate citizen. So here, how do you impact your stakeholders, and how do we do this impact analysis? So it's a tool that the impact analysis is a tool where the manager will recognize, assess, and address the needs of the different stakeholders, because it is important. If your actions are affecting them, their actions are affecting your performance, it's important for you to recognize them, assess them, and address their individual separate needs. Individual here doesn't mean it's a person, but like even if it's a group, individual different needs. So this would allow the firm to achieve competitive advantage while acting as a good corporate citizen. Because if the needs of your stakeholders are met, they are going to ensure that there's going to be sustainable working environments with you. They are also going to feel loyal. They are going to be trustworthy to you because they know you are going to produce whatever is at their best interest. Steps to stakeholder impact analysis. 1. Recognize them. Who are your stakeholders? Who are our stakeholders? What are stakeholders' interests and claim? This is all part of the recognition. Who is the person? Who is the group? What is the person's interest and claim in the organization or on the organization? What opportunities and threats do our stakeholders present? It's very important for you to know how they are going to impact your performance so that you know where to work better, where to improve to suit their needs. What legal, ethical, economic, and philanthropic responsibilities do we have to our stakeholders? So as a firm, if you recognize them, now you have to assess the legal implication, ethical implication, philanthropic implication of they being people that have interest in the organization. What should we do effectively to address stakeholder concerns? This is when you address the needs of your stakeholders. It's very important that after you've identified and assessed them, you have to now work towards addressing their separate needs. It's very important to continue with a sustainable relationship. The shared value framework. Guidance to managers on competitive advantage includes economic imperative and corporate social responsibility. It is important that managers tackle or work towards a competitive advantage by ensuring economic imperativeness in the organization. Because if you use economical conditions, the economic value that you want to create, you'll be able to determine how to work towards gaining a competitive advantage. Corporate social responsibility is very important for you to gain a favorable working environment, first off for your employees and for your workers in the organization, so that they are not attacked by the society or the community in which they find themselves in. You should also ensure that the society that you find yourself in benefits from your activities in the organization. That is very important for you to feel comfortable and secured to work at a particular place. There you have, it creates a larger pie. Here it benefits shareholders and other stakeholders. It's important because with a shared value framework, all the shareholders in the organization and other stakeholders would benefit from a bigger value to enjoy from. So it's important that you share value in the organization in an attempt to create a competitive advantage in the organization. We have the traditional view. Here we are saying that shareholders are capitalisms. So here, shareholders are the providers of the necessary risk capital and the legal owners of public companies. They have the highest and the largest legitimacy on profits. So if you are viewing the organization as a shareholder capitalism, we are more involved and we are more concerned about how do our shareholders feel? Are their needs being met? Are we paying out dividends? Is there an increase in the the share prices? Has a share gained a capital gain in its price? It's very important that if you have the view of a shareholder capitalism, you make sure that you put the shareholder at the center of every business decision you make so that they can benefit from the organization. We have the shared value view. Here, corporate social responsibility, CSR, are obligations extended beyond the economic responsibility and include legal, ethical, and philanthropic societal expectations. So your corporate social responsibility is the obligation organization has towards the community that you find yourself in, be it economic responsibility. So if you have to pay some tax, then you know you are paying some tax. You have to pay some dues, then you know you are paying some dues for being in the community. Then legal, ethical, philanthropic, you know that the path to your workplace is not good. So you are going to construct roads, street lights. These are part of philanthropic. Ethical, what are the values that you are serving in the organization? So how is it going to impact the culture? How are you inculcating the societal culture into your organization? Then you have the legal aspect of social credit and corporate social responsibility. We've come to the end of the session. We've learned about who stakeholders are and their importance in the organization. We've also learned about the steps to extend to stakeholder impact analysis. We've also learned about the value shared framework and view of stakeholders. When we looked at the types of stakeholders, we looked at the financial stakeholders, then we looked at the interest stakeholders. However, it is important to note that stakeholders could also either be internal or external stakeholders. I've said this in one of the sessions, but let me hit on it again. Stakeholders could be internal or external. Internal stakeholders are people within the organization whose actions affect the organization and whose organization actions affect them, and they have an interest in the organization. Here we mean employees, shareholders, board members, anybody in the organization who has the impact or the effect to affect make decisions that affect the organization. The external stakeholders are people outside the organization who can influence or impact the organization or who the organization's actions can affect. We have customers, media, suppliers, credit unions, we have governments, the communities that you find yourself in. Then we have alliance partners, people that you're in contractual agreement with in the organization. Thank you. See you in the next session. I hope you understood this. So the types are either a financial or an interest-based stakeholder or internal and external stakeholders.